Hey guys, I'm starting a little bit earlier than usual because we're going to do a brisket today if anybody's watching. Anybody on yet? I know there's people out there in Facebook land. I'm going to wait a couple minutes and see who else comes on. There's one person on now. We're going to be doing a brisket today. That's why I'm starting a little early, because it's got to cook in the oven for about 4.5 hours. So, get that out too, just in case. So let me know when you guys are on, and we can start this accoutrement of stuff that we're going to be doing here. Let me send out a few texts here. Let's see. Let's see who else is going to go on here. Let's see. So far, nobody's on yet, which is fine, because it's the middle of the day. Let's see. So, who else do we have here? Let's see. I got 2 people on. Sally's on. So I just sent a message out to a few people because I'm normally not on this early. Hey, Sally. But we are going to be making a brisket today. So that's why we started at 2 o'clock, because it's got to cook in the oven for about 4.5 hours. So I've got a lot of stuff prepped. I'm going to show you guys, because like I said, this has got to be in the oven for about 4.5 hours. And then we'll catch back on when it's done, and we'll do some last minute things. So what I have here is, this is all going to go on the brisket. So to season the brisket, what we have here is, this is actually 4 sprigs of rosemary from the garden. There's bay leaves, which we'll add later. And just a handful of flat leaf parsley. We don't have to chop that. I've got 3 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to smash. Okay? And then we've got our celery stalks, which are cut. We've got our carrots. We've got potatoes. We've got 1 enormous onion, which is sliced. This is all going to go in the brisket once we throw it in the oven. I've got 1 can of whole peeled tomatoes, which you squeeze by your hand. Don't put them in the food processor like I do with the when I make gravy. And in here is 2 cups of red wine. Hey, Steven. The wine that I chose it's actually a very good wine to drink anyway. It's a Robert Mondavi. It's private selection. It's Pinot Noir. It's about $12 a bottle in the liquor store. So we're going to use that with the brisket. I know I had talked earlier about doing either this or chicken marsala, but I was able to find the brisket at a good price today. It's like 4 pounds, and it cost me like $18, so it's well worth it. So what we've got here is, like I said, I've got all my little accoutrement going on here. I've got a pan with, let's say about 3 tablespoons of olive oil, which we're going to turn on in a couple minutes. But first, we're going to take this garlic because we're going to make a paste that's going to coat this brisket. I know, and actually here, guys, this is the brisket here, which actually is, I took it out of the pack, I dried it off, and then it's hit with coarse salt and coarse black pepper on both sides. So this has been sitting for like a half an hour now, okay? Hey, Ed Kimball. So the brisket's been sitting on the stove, so it's dried, and it's been sitting with the coarse salt and the cracked pepper. Then I have all my accoutrements for the that we're going to put on top of the brisket. So I have 3 cloves of garlic, which we're actually just going to smash with our hands. Well, not with our hands, with a knife. And what you're going to do is you're just going to keep running your knife over this garlic so you guys can see it. So it's almost going to become like a paste. And I mean, if you have to cheat and cut it up a little bit, that's fine. But you're just going to keep doing this, and it's going to become almost into a paste form. And like I said, my knives are very, very sharp. You guys can also use a garlic press, but this is a brand new thing of garlic, so it hasn't been sitting around too long. So I am going to dice it up a little bit. And we're just going to keep smashing this, and it eventually will become into more of like a paste, like I said. But it's not going to have to be perfect, because we're going to mix this in with olive oil and the 4 sprigs of fresh rosemary that I pulled from the garden. So this is kind of forming into a paste now. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but all I'm really doing is taking the knife, and I'm just, after I smash the garlic, I just keep running this knife over this. So it almost actually looks like, to tell you the truth, it looks like artichoke hearts, like when you guys, you know, when they're marinated. It almost looks like little leaves. But I mean, this is actually coming out to a nice paste. So for now, that's actually, I think that's actually pretty good. So what we're going to do is, this is now a paste at this point. So this is going to come off. Okay. Like that. You're going to put it into a bowl. Okay. Then over here I have the 4 sprigs of fresh rosemary. So I took half of that. Okay. And we're going to work the rosemary into the garlic. Okay. So that was half of it. And now we're going to take the other half, and we're going to work that in there. The bay leaves we're not going to cut up. They're actually just going to lay in the actual roasting pan. And I didn't have any, you can use dried bay leaves, which is actually what this calls for. But I didn't have any, and I couldn't find them, believe it or not, at the grocery store for some reason. So I actually found out in my produce market near the house, I found a whole pack of fresh bay leaves. There's like 30 of them in there, which I will actually now dry out myself. But I am going to put 3 of the fresh ones in there. So this has now become the paste, okay? So what we're going to do, there's the paste there. It's going to end up being like maybe a 1/4 cup of the rosemary and the garlic paste. And we're actually just going to have a little small bowl here, because you're going to need that. That's going to go in there. And don't be afraid to, you can use as much garlic or as much rosemary as you guys want. This is, I think, about a 4.5 pound roast. So there's your garlic and rosemary paste that we just made. I'm going to turn this pan on, I have it on 4. We're going to let that heat up. Okay. So we're going to add This is sea salt, fine sea salt. I know you guys are looking at this backwards, but we're going to do a little bit of fine sea salt, and that's about a teaspoon, okay? Cracked pepper. This is that white and black cracked pepper that I told you guys I love. So that's about, let's say, a teaspoon of that. Hey, Glenn. Okay, extra virgin olive oil, you always need it. So this is a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Not light, not a blend. Has to be extra virgin. It can't have canola, nothing. So that's going in there. Okay. So we're going to mix that up. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is, this says, so what I'm actually going to do is, I'm going to, that oil's heating. So I'm going to bring over this, this slab of meat. Oh, and by the way, guys, look, first time not drinking, this is actually iced tea. I made iced tea, so no wine and no booze right now because it's 2:30 in the afternoon. So, we've got our brisket here, okay? So you guys can see that. I'm actually going to use my handy-dandy baster. And what we're going to do is, and also I'll show you on the back of this too. So actually, let's do the back first. Let's do the back first. So you still have that layer of fat on the back of the, excuse me, of the brisket, which you want to keep on there. Because that's going to add more moisture and more flavor. So this is my mixture here, guys, okay, of a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And then what I did was I actually made a garlic paste with a fresh rosemary. So now we're actually going to baste the back of this, okay? And I mean, be generous. I mean, you don't have to, you know, be generous. Put that on there. Because that's going to seep in, okay? And then what we're going to do is, once this oil heats up, we're going to put it in the pan this side down, and then we'll flip it over and baste it again because I don't want this stuff to run off so it doesn't get used. Meanwhile, over here I was saying I have, they call for 4 large carrots, which you cube, like, you know, cut into big chunks. I use the baby carrots, and this is about a cup of baby carrots. 4 stalks of celery. I chunked them down. I'm going to add potatoes to this, actually, instead of doing them separately. We're going to try and make this as easy for you guys as possible. It's a 1-meal dish. You're not doing side pans of this and side pans of that. So I have purple potatoes. I have red potatoes. And some little baby Yukon Golds. These are all baby potatoes you can get in a bag at the grocery store. They're not cheap. It's like $6 for it. I have 1 can of whole peeled tomatoes, which I crushed with my hands, okay? 1 large yellow onion. And I cut this into chunks like this. That's going to go in there. We have 2 cups of... I'm using Pinot Noir because it's actually going to add a nice flavor to this once it's basting. So I can smell this oil burning. So, not burning, but getting hot. We also have beef stock. We're going to add that in too. Once we get it into the roasting pan. So let's bring you over here. Oh, let's say hi to my son real fast. Because Daddy mowed the lawn. And then Daddy and Diesel got baths today, his weekly bath. So now he's chilling out. He's coronavirus free. He thinks I'm nuts along with the rest of you guys. Okay. So let's position this here. Get that out of the way. Okay. Oh, and here's my big roasting pan, okay? So this oil, you can smell it. It's on 4, which is medium. So we're going to take our, where's mine? This light is like getting on my nerves here. Okay. We're going to, there we go. We're going to take this with the fat side is going to go down. Can you hear the sizzle? Can you hear the sizzle, guys? Okay. So now this obviously goes in the sink. It already smells amazing. So like I said, with the brisket, what I did was it's about a 4.5 pound brisket. Took it out of the package, I dried it off, and it's been resting for about a half an hour with coarse salt, cracked black pepper, and I patted that in there and let it sit outside because you never want to cook meat cold. It needs to be at room temperature because the meat will seize up, the juices will seize up, and it's going to be tough and you're not going to like it. So this is sizzling. So this is the remainder of that rosemary and garlic paste with olive oil. So that we're now going to put on the side that's facing up. My God, this is going to be unbelievable. So this won't be ready till about, we're going to say like 6 o'clock, 6:30. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back on around 5:30 and do some finishing touches with this. I don't know, I'm probably going to make a little tomato and cucumber salad or maybe a mixed green salad. I don't know, we'll figure it out. It'll be an easy thing. Because like I said, your whole dinner now is going to be in this roasting pan, okay? You're going to have your potatoes, you're going to have your carrots, you're going to have your celery, your onions, and you're done. So let me just check. Not quite. And the oven, oh guys, I'm sorry, the oven. Make sure you put the oven on 325 when you start this. Everybody's oven's different. And they tell you every 30 minutes you need to baste this. And you'll see all the juices that are going to be there from the tomato and the beef stock to baste this while it's cooking. And we're actually going to cook this with the fat side down is how we're going to cook this. So this is at 325. And you know, I'm actually going to bump this up because my oven's been acting weird lately and I don't know why. It's less than 4 years old. We're going to bump it up to 350, okay? So, how's everybody doing with this, yes, my iced tea. No booze today. Booze will be at 5:30. Let's flip this. See, that's got that nice brown on it. We're going to flip that side now, just so you guys can see. It's got that nice brown, all that garlic, that crust. Yeah, my mom is in PA. For those of you guys that know me from Pennsylvania, my mom's in PA, and let me turn this down. My mom's in PA. She said they're having crazy, crazy storms. And they have a huge creek behind their house, which they said now is like coming over their embankment. So that happens when it rains a lot. Did you use a rack? No, Diane, I'm not using a rack on this because I want this to sit in the juices. So I'm not using the rack. You can if you want to, but you're going to see once the brisket's in there, it's going to be lined, all the vegetables are going to be lined around it. So what we're going to do is check this other side now. Okay. And then hold this. If you have some sturdy tongs, hold this because you do kind of want to sear the sides as well. This is like when you're doing a pork tenderloin. I sear all 4 sides of it. You don't have to do much, but you can hear it sizzle. So now we're going to do that shallow side. This thing weighs a ton. And then we're going to let this go on the one side again for a little bit longer. Let's see. So that's going. So then what I did was, if you guys are just catching up again. You don't have to add, you can add a little bit more salt and pepper, but we'll do that, you know, once we throw it on the roasting pan. Okay, so we're going to take this off. And we're going to save this oil, okay? So we are going to do, like I said, we're going to do fat side down, okay? So fat side down. That's all the extra juices. Now comes the fun part. Bring you guys back over here. Okay. So can everybody see? Okay. Hey, Deb. So for you guys just catching in, we're doing a beef brisket. Hey, Paul in the oven. What I did to recap real fast, 4 to 4.5 pound brisket. Dried it, hit it with coarse salt, black pepper, let it stand for like 30 minutes out in the refrigerator. I have 4 sprigs of fresh rosemary, 3 cloves of garlic. You can adjust that if you want to. I actually smashed the garlic and made a paste with it, then added in the finely chopped rosemary. So that is on both sides. That's a hunk, yes, Deb, it's a hunk of meat. Pan-seared it. Oh, that's a piece of my little basin thing. Pan-seared it on both sides for about 4 to 5 minutes, okay? So now it's in the roasting pan. Oven's at 350. Lost my iced tea. Hold on, guys. Here it is. And we saved the rest of that oil from the pan. So, what I'm going to do now is, we're just going to put these potatoes around, okay? This is a big pan, but you know what? We're going to need it, because a Pyrex is not going to do the job. Like I said, this was one huge yellow onion, okay? This is going in here too. Okay. We've got about a cup of carrots. And these are the baby carrots. Like I said, you guys can use 4 large carrots. And you can cube them. You know, cut them if you want. We've got 4 stalks of celery. They're about an inch and a quarter, give or take. That's going in there. You guys can do whatever you want. You can put any kind of... You can do a root vegetable. You can do sweet potatoes. Okay. So now we've got, in here, okay, we've got 1 16-ounce can of whole tomatoes, which are peeled and crushed by hand. So this is going all around. Because what we're going to do is, this is all going to get basted on top of the brisket. I'm going to do a cup. Well, we're probably going to do about 2 cups of beef stock. Okay? And I'm pretty good. I don't need that measuring spoon. I got some olive oil sitting here. So, actually, let me shake this up. Okay. So now we've got about 2 cups of beef stock in there. Okay. Best part, guys, is the wine. So this is 2 cups of Pinot Noir. You can use whatever you want, but I did a Robert Mondavi. It's a Reserve Select. It's about $13, $12, $13 in the grocery store, in the liquor store. Next, we have 3 bay leaves. Just throw those bitches right in there. Doesn't, you know, whole lot of them be chopped up. Okay. Parsley, same thing. This like looks like Christmas. Christmas. That's all the accoutrements left over. Who cares about that? We can throw that in there anyway. Now we're going to take, okay, we have, this is the remainder of that oil with the garlic and the rosemary. Just get your spoon, drizzle that on top. Okay? All that's going to go in there. Like I said, guys, this is a one dish meal. You can put this in the oven. Like I said, it's going to be 4.5 hours. I pumped it up to 350, so it might be done sooner. But this gives you the opportunity to do stuff around your house. You know, or go run errands if, you know. I was never a fan of leaving my oven on and leaving my house. My mother did it my whole life, which always made me nervous. But this gives you the opportunity to go do other shit around your house. Because all you really have to do is, every 30 minutes, you're going to baste this. Put this in the refrigerator. We're almost done, guys, I promise. Then I'll let you get on with your day. We're going to hit cracked black pepper all around these vegetables. Okay? Cracked black pepper. And then we've got fine sea salt. I was going to use the Himalayan salt, but this is calling for the sea salt. So that's going to go around too. And what the hell, hit a little bit on the top of that. Okay, guys. So, look how gorgeous this looks. Not even cooked. Look how beautiful that looks. So, this is going to go in the oven now, okay? And put your rack on the middle rack. Oh, shit, we got to foil this. Most important part. Okay, so now, my friend Ed Kimball and Eric say that, you know, and I've done it before, put wax paper, then the foil, but it's not really touching it, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put the foil around this. And it doesn't have to be tight, but, you know, tight enough. So what we're going to do is, this is going to go in the oven now. And what we're going to do is, in about an hour and a half, well, I'm going to check it every 30 minutes. But in about an hour and a half, I'm going to come back on with you guys, just so you can see how this is going. And then if we have to adjust anything and add more wine or more tomato, anything like that, we can do that at that point. So let me put this in the oven. Okay. So that's going in, medium rack. We're gonna, and the best thing to do, guys, is put your timer on 30-minute increments. So, you know, then you know, because that's one thing. You don't want this to dry out. It's not going to. It's going to slow roast. But you don't want it drying out. So just do your 30-minute increments on your timer. Oh, and I picked these up today because I love my flowers. Look at these gorgeous hydrangeas I picked up today. I always have to have flowers in the house. So that's pretty much, thanks, Deb. Yeah, I can't wait till it's done. So I'm going to check back with you guys at, actually, 4 o'clock. Perfect. 4 o'clock, I'll check back. We'll base this. And then we'll take it from there. Like I said, I don't really have to do sides because you have your potatoes, you have your onions, carrots, celery, all that fun stuff. So thanks, guys, for watching. Please stay safe. Please, please, please stay safe. Don't go out unless you have to. If you do, I got masks today, believe it or not, at my local convenience store because I had to go to the produce market. So wear gloves if you have them, wear masks, sanitize, do all that stuff. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys around 4 o'clock. Love you all so much. Take care.